Good afternoon. Welcome to Music at Noon. We have a wonderful guitarist today. His name is Matthew Fish. He goes by Matt. And the program today is virtually all live composers. Surprise, surprise. Yes, there are a few that are still alive. And the one who has left our world is Antonio Lauro from South America, Venezuela. And that's in the middle of the concert. So we welcome Matt from all the way from Redwood City. That's where he makes his home, where he teaches music, has 2 children, is a busy man. So we hope you enjoy the concert today. Music at Noon. Sacramento, California. Today is September 10th, isn't it? I guess I'll just never get that right, will I? I'm keeping you on your toes and you're keeping me on my toes. As I didn't say, it's August 10th. Wednesday is Music at Noon at Westminster Church in Sacramento. Welcome, and let's welcome Matt Fish. Thank you.
All right, can you hear me all right? All right, awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. This is actually my first live performance since the pandemic hit. So this is, thank you. Very much appreciate it. Didn't realize quite how much I missed performing live, but now that I'm here, very excited. So that first piece is by a Swedish guitarist composer named Johannes Möller. I actually recorded a CD, which is for sale over there after the concert, of all of his solo guitar works. And this is a really special one for me. I usually start out my program with this because I think it kind of gives a good idea of like the intimate sound of the guitar, a lot of dynamics, and kind of gets the audience used to it. So for the next one, I'm going to play a set of 2 etudes by a Brazilian guitarist named Christian Daza. He based these off of the 2 most famous guitar etudes by Heitor Villa-Lobos, another Brazilian, but he kind of changed them a little bit and gave his own spin. So the first one, they're both arpeggio etudes. So the first one, basically, you kind of hold chords in the left hand, and then the right hand does all the work. And then in the second one, the left hand's going to be kind of flying all around, more like kind of like violin arpeggios. So this is 2 etudes by Christian Daza. All right, didn't quite realize how loose my glasses were until I'm under all the stage lights and the heat. They're sliding down my nose like crazy. So when the pandemic hit, I had to cancel my first ever concert. Never canceled a concert before. Not a great feeling. And I realized once the pandemic didn't look like it was going anywhere, I realized I needed some sort of creative outlet. So I turned to arranging music for solo guitar and ended up really loving it. So I've actually started a YouTube channel, I think November 2020. It's called Acoustic OST, all one word. If you're interested, you could just type in Matt Fish Guitar and it should come up. So I got, in addition to arranging, I also got very much into anime. And watching anime, I realized the music is really, really beautiful. So my channel's kind of dedicated to arranging video game and anime music. And it's been quite fun. So I got a lot of my own arrangements on this program. This next one is from a show called B-Stars, and this is the main theme. And the composer, double check his name, Satoru Kosaki, wrote a really incredible soundtrack for this show. And this is the main theme, and he kind of, depending on what's happening in the show, he manipulates it with different combinations of instruments. And this is the piano solo version. So it's a little more kind of dark and moody, very classical sounding. So I thought that out of all the versions, this one was going to transfer to guitar the best. So this is B-Stars PF Solo. All right, so this next one is another anime song called Gurren's Theme from Naruto Shippuden. Naruto's a super famous anime. It has like, I don't know, 1,000 episodes or something. So I haven't watched all of them because it's just too much. But the music is truly, truly beautiful. So this one kind of has two main sections. Starts with the main melody, kind of develops a bit, and then in the second section, I use a lot of kind of arranging techniques I like to do where the melody repeats, but I change up the accompaniment to kind of keep some more interest. So this is Gurren's Theme. All right, so this next one, as Brad pointed out, is the only composer who is not currently living. Antonio Laro was a very, very big figure in Venezuelan guitar music, and these are probably his most popular pieces. It's actually a set of 4, but these are my 3 favorite. And he dedicated each one to one of his nieces. So they're full of lots of fun rhythms, really catchy music. So these are the 3 Venezuelan waltzes by Antonio Laro. All right, thank you. Another arrangement coming up called Rust from one of my favorite anime called Violet Evergarden. It's a very intense, emotional, and sad anime, so the soundtrack is just incredible. And I'm actually working towards, about halfway done with it, working towards an entire album I'm going to put on Spotify and other streaming services of my own Violet Evergarden arrangements. So I think I have six done so far. I'm aiming for 12 or so. So this one is called Rust. It's one of my only arrangements from this show that's actually in standard tuning. Most of my other ones you'll see later have some kind of crazy altered tunings. So this is Rust from Violet Evergarden. All right, so this is another one by Johannes Muller, available on my CD. It's called A Star in the Sky, A Universe Within, and probably one of the coolest classical guitar pieces I've ever played, at least one of my favorite. It utilizes a capo. As you can see, I put this little thing on. So the open strings sound like this. And it gives a really, really nice sound. The interesting thing, too, is normally we capo all the strings to accompany singers and easily change the key of what we're playing in. But with this one, he actually leaves the bottom E string completely open. So you'll see I'm actually going to play kind of behind the capo a little bit. There's all sorts of crazy strumming techniques, and there's different tremolos and other really cool things. He told me he was kind of inspired one night just laying out, looking at the stars and kind of thinking how insignificant and small each one of us may seem, kind of in the vastness of the universe. So he tried to capture that with his tuning and just a really deep emotional piece. So this is A Star in the Sky, A Universe Within. All right, so here's another arrangement of mine. Growing up, I have two older brothers. We're all 3 years apart. So it was sometimes hard to find activities we could all do together because they didn't want their annoying little brother around. So video games were always kind of a way for us to connect and be together and have fun. So video games will always kind of hold a special place in my heart, even though now that I have my own kids, I don't have time for them, I don't play them anymore. I always have very fond memories. And the first video game that I kind of really, the music had an impact on me was The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And so to start my YouTube channel, I wanted to kind of do something really meaningful to me. So I took kind of 9 of my favorite themes and kind of mushed them together in a medley. And medleys are a real challenge because not only do you have to arrange each individual piece, you have to think of a creative way to connect them together so that it kind of flows together and feels like one cohesive piece of music. So this is my Ocarina of Time guitar medley. I hope you enjoy. All right. So I'm going to play the final two pieces. As long as my guitar cooperates and stays in this new tuning, I'm going to kind of play them as a set with no interruptions. In between, though, I might have to tweak the tuning a little bit. So these final two are, again, from Violet Evergarden, my own arrangements. The Love That Binds Us, it kind of plays it towards the end of the show, after the main character, Violet, has gone through a whole slew of things. So it starts out kind of a little bit sad, but then it has a really, really kind of uplifting, happy melody, because even though there's a lot of strife, everything kind of works out in the end. And then Michi Shirube is actually the ending song. So every anime, in case you don't know, has an opening song and an ending song during the credits. They're usually very popular, and they try to match the lyrics to the mood of the show and things like that. So Michi Shirube has a very simple melody, but it was a lot of fun because it kind of allowed me to throw in a lot of kind of cool guitar stuff. So thank you again so much for coming out here. It feels so good to be here live. This is, I think, my third time being here on this series, and honestly one of my favorite places to play. The sound here and the space is just so awesome. The audience is always great. Thank you again, Brad, for having me out. So yeah, and afterwards I have CDs for sale, one for 10. If you want to buy one for a friend, I'll give you half off if you get two. And I'd love to, talk and get to know you after the concert. So thank you again. This is The Love That Binds Us and Michi Shirube from Violet Evergarden.
Matt, come to the front of the stage. We need to interview you. And while he's doing that, somebody handed me something quite unique, and I was too busy to pay attention. Music at Noon video playlist. Who was that handed this to me? She's here somewhere. So I thought, okay, what can I do with this code? What do you call this type of code? It's a QR, yeah. So I did it, and many, many Music at Noon program videos were there. So if you can get one of these, it's kind of fun to play with. Okay, come down here, young man. Let's find out what makes you tick. First of all, I thought it was wonderful music for lunchtime. What do you think? Yes. It's great kind of driving music. I mean, it just puts you kind of in another place in this world that sometimes you want to be in a different place. So, you were memorized. We were mesmerized. I use that just to be a little bit attention-getting, but the fact is that you had a lot to memorize, and you do that very naturally and very gracefully. And to think that he has not played for 2 or 3 years. This is the first concert he's given since COVID started back in 2020. It's a little hard for me to imagine that because you seem so natural, you seem so comfortable and at ease, and you make us comfortable. Am I right about that? You make us comfortable. So here you are in the middle of your career, in the middle of COVID. And so I'm using the word connected because I see that as a word for you in many different ways. You connected with me, and I think you connected with the audience very well. You brought to us music that we appreciate and understand, and sometimes we don't expect that from living composers because sometimes the music is, where's the Bach, where's the Haydn, where's the Mozart? I didn't wish for that today. I was perfectly happy with what you gave us today. And then I did a little bit of research, and I found out that the composers you're playing are all famous. And so that is the word connected. Somehow you are connecting to contemporary composers where many of us do not. How do you do that? How do you become, you want to get your microphone, that's fine. Because these composers, I don't know, and I expect you don't know them either. You're helping us to know them, and we should know them because they are. But how are you connected to these composers?
In terms of my album that I made with Johannes, I commissioned a piece from him.
Who's he?
He's a Swedish guitarist and composer.
What's the name?
His name's Johannes Moller.
Okay, Moller.
Yeah,
okay.
And he kind of rose to classical guitar fame, at least. He won the Guitar Foundation of America competition back in 2012, maybe? And so, at least in the guitar world, if you win that competition, it's pretty wide recognition, and he gets like a kind of world concert tour and a CD recording for Naxos and all that stuff. So I found out about him from there, and then I reached out to him. He was taking commissions. He wrote me a piece, which is very hard, so I didn't end up bringing it back for this concert. So I got some Skype lessons with him and things like that, and he let me do a bunch of world premiere recordings of his music. So that was pretty cool. That was back in 2016, I think. And then the other composers, I don't know personally or anything like that. But one thing is I noticed with the YouTube realm, and the internet in general, you have such a wide reach. And it's with video game music, there's like I think it's kind of hitting on people's nostalgia, because when someone watches a show or a movie or a video game that has a real deep impact on them, the music kind of brings them instantly back. So like for me, it's like when I played the Zelda one, it's like I can remember being, 10 years old, playing with my brothers and, trying to beat the Zelda game and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was kind of the big thing for my YouTube channel was, as you said, connectedness. It really does kind of create a community around this music because everyone has such fond memories, and it means different things to different people.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That helps to explain your niche, and you do your niche very, very well. And I think you have to find a niche, don't you, in this world where the playing field has been leveled quite a bit, and you've got to somehow find a unique way of presenting yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel you're connected with yourself also, which makes everything else work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you are brilliant in some areas, it's not easy to be connected in a healthy way. So you have a lot going for you. And you have a CD that is being sold for 2 for $10, you're saying, I think.
It was 1 for 10 and then 2 for 15 if you want to buy one for a friend.
There you go. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to undercut you there.
Okay.
And so if it's half as good as today, I'm sure you're going to want that CD. Take it home and take Matt with you. So come on up afterwards. And thank you. Yeah. One more time, applause, please.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, one moment. And before you leave, we have a concert next week, and it would happen to be folk singer guitarist Lisa Phoenix and friends. She is the epitome of a folk, the image of a folk singer and the sound. Joni, her name, the famous folk singer. Who? Well, yes, all of those. She has an iconic voice, so please come and hear her next week. Are you the one that did the...
Yes, the QR code is available. The QR code is available at the Music at Noon bulletin board, which is on your left as you go towards the parking lot.
So they can pick them up there. Gotcha. Did you do it? Wow. What's your name?
Art.
You do have art, don't you? Thank you, Art. You all have a good week. Thanks for coming. See you next time.